Welcome to 2023 Hits and Shits, where I talk about all the makeup I tried in the year 2023, what was a hit and what was shit. Welcome to part 2, shits. I don't have almost all of these products anymore because I don't like just keeping things I don't like around. I like repurposing them, rehoming them, giving them away. So I will be adding little pictures here of what I'm talking about. These are just my personal experiences and opinions. If you like these products, all the power to you. And for your reference, I do have combo oily skin that gets oily, like grease slick during the summer. Dry patches around my eyes and my jawline and my skin type is a lot to do with the reason I don't like things. So let's just get into it. This is a recent shit because it just gave me an allergic reaction literally a week ago. The Glam Glow Starter Moisturizer. And it's funny because in the vlog that I was using it, I was saying there's only one product I like from Glam Glow and this is it. Granted, it's a beautiful moisturizer, smells like creamsicle. It gives you a really beautiful glow to the skin. I think it's the fragrance that really irritated my skin. And the thing is, I don't even have sensitive skin, but so many of Glam Glow's products are so strong. They're so abrasive. All of the masks burned my face when they were at like their peak in 2014, 2016. I'm kind of writing off Glam Glow as an entire brand because everything I used from that just really irritates my skin and I always end up regretting it, so not for me. First, a hot take, the Makeup by Mario foundation. I didn't like it. It looks beautiful in pictures, I will say, but in person, it's really thick. It makes you look like you're sweating, or it made my oily skin look like it was sweating. And a lot of the shades did have this sparkly looking, everyone said it was mica. I think it is mica. It's not actually glitter, but the amount of mica or the formulation of how they used the mica in there did make it look like it was glitter or very slight shimmer on the skin, which I didn't like. I do struggle with larger pores as well, so I don't like foundations that emphasize those pores. Did melt off my skin about 5-6 hours into the day, and this is when I was working in an air-conditioned building, so I'm not breaking a sweat, I'm not doing anything crazy. I can't even imagine what it would look like if I was working outdoors or if I was wearing it on like a day-to-day basis. It just felt so heavy on the skin, and that's just not my preferred foundation. Next is the Smashbox Always On foundation. Now to me, this felt like liquid latex. It felt like I was painting my face with just a really thick latexy foundation. Could I have made this work? I think so. I got a lot of comments saying, oh, if you prep your skin like this, if you apply it like this. The thing is, I'm not gonna change my beauty routine just to make something fit into it. I want it to fit seamlessly into the routine I already have. It just settled in the most unflattering way in my lines. It emphasized my texture, and it was one of the only foundations that I immediately took it off after I tried setting it with a powder. Smashbox did reach out to me to do an ad for it. I said, I'm so sorry, but no. They reached out to me to go to a couple of their brand events. I also said no because it was promoting that foundation. I didn't feel genuine going to those. Another product that didn't work out for me, which I was so excited about, this was a personal heartbreak, the Fenty Ease Drops Blurring Skin Tint Stick. Now, I love the Blurring Ease Drop Skin Tint by itself. I finished an entire one. I'm on my second bottle, so I was very excited to see the stick. Now, I am a little bit tentative towards foundation sticks because they tend to feel heavy, but I was like, it's Fenty. I love the liquid. I'm sure I'm gonna love the stick. I love the stick for the first about 2 hours because it does give you nice full coverage. It blends out super velvety, buttery, creamy, and your skin looks absolutely flawless and filtered for 2 hours. But my oily, pesky skin broke through that foundation no matter what I prepped it with, no matter what I set it with, and the way it settled into my skin as time went on was super unflattering. I tried so hard to make it work, even picking it up with a foundation brush and buffing it on like that to use as little as possible, but no matter how I used it, it ended up just sinking into my skin and pores and emphasizing the texture after hour 2 or 3. So unfortunately, that wasn't for me either. And the last foundation that really I couldn't do it, the Say foundation, which is such a bummer. That's actually what got me kicked off their PR list for a while. Sorry, I just had to be honest about it. It has a very greasy texture, very chock full of skincare. Clean brand as well, but when you pump it out immediately, it has that greasy slip to it, similar to chicken grease. Unfortunately, it looks pretty on camera because it's so glowy, but because of that super greasy texture, it just made me break out. My skin was not happy with it. It melted off probably like 30 minutes in, and I couldn't even get through like a 2-hour wear test with it. No matter how much I prepped it, set it, it was just not happening. Okay, for concealers, I don't mean to slam on Makeup by Mario. Like, it's not fun for me. I'm not trying to be fun or different. I think a lot of his brand is geared more towards those who are a little bit drier. But what's funny is that the concealer didn't work for me because I have chronically dry under eyes, and I feel like it really emphasized the fine lines. It made my eyes look very crepey. It's supposed to be a self-setting concealer, so I tried not setting it, and then it just transferred all over my mascara. And then when I did set it, it looked too dry and chalky because I guess the powder on top of whatever self-setting property it had did not mesh well. Again, it was just really, really finicky. It made my under eyes look bad. I didn't like it on my face either, and overall it just wasn't for my skin type. Another concealer that I wish I loved a lot more, the Haus Labs concealer. They did send it to me in PR, but I also purchased a different shade of it to really make it work. It is so thick. It has kind of a whipped, almost frosting-like consistency. It feels very heavy on the under eyes. Now, because I have very dry under eyes, it's probably why it didn't work for me, because it does dry down to more of a matte, velvety, slightly powdery kind of finish, which is very unflattering for my dry patches. I did see people use and love it. It does have really nice medium buildable to full coverage. If you like more of a whipped, a little bit heavier, more body to your concealer, you might like the Haus Labs, but to me it just felt very drying under the eye, and it was really, really unflattering under my eyes as well. It was okay on the face, but if I'm gonna buy a concealer, I prefer something that I can use for multiple purposes. Another concealer bummer, and not because I don't like the formula, but because every friend of mine that bought and used this concealer had the exact same packaging issue with it. The new Live Tinted concealer, it came out about a month or two ago. Formula is really beautiful. I purchased it with my own money. However, little brush applicator it has, all the bristles fall out. They just fall out. Every single one of my friends who has and has used it have told me the exact same thing. When I purchased it myself, I was like, no, I'm different. The bristles fell out. While I like the formula, if the component isn't usable, it's just not the product for me. Cream contour and bronzer. This does make me sad to say, because Mango People is an AAPI owned brand. They're also a very nice team, and I wanted to love their product so badly, but I couldn't get behind their cream bronzer. It drags like crazy. Like, it drags like insane. And I talked to the team and they said it's because it's a little bit longer lasting of a formula. It's more grippy, so it sticks around, and I totally see that being a thing. Because it's so grippy and kind of sticky, when I tried to pick it up with a brush to apply it, it really wouldn't adhere to the brush very well. When I took it straight on the face, it would move all the product I had underneath. And I tried to underpaint with it because of that grippy, sticky kind of texture. The foundation I put on top of it, or the skin tint I put on top of it, just looked like really patchy and not cute. Unfortunately, their cream blush I had the exact same problem with. If I had to pick one thing from the entire brand that I like, I do like their cream highlighters. It looks very wet and glossy on the cheek, but overall I just did not have luck with those cream products. For cream blush, I guess slash highlight, the Charlotte Tilbury wand in Pinkgasm. Now, I typically don't have an issue of my products lifting. I don't know why specifically the blush lifts so much on me, and it has the most unflattering metallic finish to it. To me, if I want something glowy, I want it to look lit from within. I want it to look like healthy, juicy skin. The Pinkgasm one just looks like you have metallic cheeks, and personally, that is just not my preference, but if it's yours, all the power to you. The second cream blush that was a shit, the Makeup by Mario. Any idea, dream, whatever of working with a brand one day I am kissing goodbye, wanted to love. The cream blushes, the cream face sculptors, the skin enhancers that are like that glittery bronzer gradient powder thing. I didn't like any of them, and it's just such a bummer. So the face sculptor and the cream blush just looked so glowy and greasy on my skin. If I set it down with the powder, I feel like there's no point in that, and if I don't set it, then it just feels really greasy and wet. My skin, it does not dry down, does not melt in, it just stays on top and moves around. I had the same issue with both the cream contour bronzer thing and the cream blush. So, and the perfect like the gradient powder has glitter in there, it has shimmer in there. Did no one want to talk about that? Straight up shimmer in there. And if you're gonna put it on the perimeter of your face, personally, that is just not the look I'm going for. Let's talk setting sprays. I have pretty good luck with setting sprays. Not often do I try setting spray and I have any strong negative feeling towards it. So these two are more for the malfunctioning packaging versus how it really performs. The first one is the Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Setting Spray. I had very high hopes for it because, again, I'm super oily. The first couple times I used it, I really did like it. It kept my skin matte for a very, very long time, but around the 10th or 12th time that I used it, the formula of it got clogged in the little nozzle and it started spitting a geyser of just milky looking water at me. That sounds inappropriate. Did get a lot of comments saying, you know, run it under hot water and things like that, which, you know, I'll do just so I cannot waste the product. There's nothing like faulty packaging. Packaging is faulty. I'm just like, how did this pass your regulations? How did this pass your test? A lot of people say that they had the same experience with it. The Lottie London Matte Setting Spray, yeah, it dries down as a white powder on your face. That's basically it. I don't think I have to go any further. I will admit that my judgment of mascaras isn't always super fair because I have crappy lashes. They're sparse, they're thin, they're straight, they don't hold a curl, they don't hold product well. I get it, but I will say that this mascara was just so smudgy that my eyes watered just a little bit, and it smudged all over my lower lash line and all up through my inner corners. The Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. So many people rave about this mascara. It is a cult classic. So when I used it for the first time earlier this year, I was just like, okay, fun. It's called Roller Lash because it's supposed to hold your curl, like it rolls up your lashes. It did not hold my curl fell immediately. And if you have watery eyes like me, because I have issues with dry eyes from contacts, being a crybaby, etc., do not get Roller Lash. It will just melt all over your face. A makeup product that absolutely humbled me this year, which was actually super disappointing because they reformulated it and I loved it before, the Wet n Wild's Breakup Proof liquid liner. It was so good. I bought it multiple times throughout college, been using it for years, recommending it all over the place. I got a brand new one this year. I went to Korean barbecue with Jane, Mitchie, and Karen, and tell me why my eyeliner melted all over my face. What used to be breakup proof, like extremely waterproof, extremely long lasting, they reformulated it or something. I don't know if they switched factories. I really cannot tell you, but it smudged all over everywhere, on top of my lid too. It was so embarrassing. So Wet n Wild, that is my bone to pick with you. Why would you reformulate that? It was so good. Another absolutely terrible mascara is the one from Freck. I believe it's called the Lash Rocket. The brush is so spiky, and I'm not like jabbing mascara wands into my eyeballs, not excessively wiggling it at the base. The spikiness of it just made my eyes water. Probably a me problem, but even the formula was super unimpressive. It was like putting black water on your lashes. And onto some lippy products. I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to lip products, as long as it looks pretty and it applies well and it wears relatively long depending on what kind of formula it is. I'm pretty happy with it. The Rare Beauty lip oil made my lips so chapped. It chapped an entire ring around my lips. It was like hard for almost a week. It was not cute. It was a true tinted lip oil, so it did leave a stain. It did have that kind of oily slip to it, which isn't my preferred, lip texture. It had menthol in it. And the menthol dried out my lips so much. And granted, I do have drier lips. I do have to put lip balm on every single day, but they're not so sensitive that I react to things. For example, I can use lip plumpers just fine. I can use minty lip balms and things like that just fine, but something in that Rare Beauty lip oil formula really irritated my lips. It really irritated my lip line, and my lips were dry for like a week. The Makeup by Mario Plumping Lip Color. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm not. Like, trust me, I want to love these things. I want to work with these brands. I want to be able to, give rave reviews, but I also find it's really beneficial to give open and honest feedback as well. The Makeup by Mario Plumping Lip Colors, they were more of like a full coverage lacquer gloss kind of deal. My biggest insecurity with my lips are my lip lines. I do have a fair amount of them. The Makeup by Mario lip color settled into all of my lip lines, and it emphasized every single one. The gloss would stay all over. The pigment in the gloss would collect in all of my lip lines. What is that? Why? There were so many beautiful shades, and I love his lip serum. I love his lip liners. There are products from his line that I do really, really love, but those plumping lip colors, not it. And Sephora Collection did redo a lot of their products this year, and I hate when they try to fix things that are not broken. For example, they have their mono blushes that Makeup by Ariel completely made viral because he says he uses them on Kylie. I don't know. But I did have a lot of the old shades, and they were very beautiful, silky, velvety, diffused over the cheeks so effortlessly. They pulled everything, they relaunched it, and they are not good now. The pigment is not there, the blendability is not there. There are a couple shades that like perform okay, but for the most part, the formula, it went from a 10 to a 4. It's just not good. And I swear I was digging my blush brush in there for like 10 swirls and it still wasn't giving. As for brow products, the Refresh Brow Gel with a little spiky ball at the end, very spiky, like painful. Didn't give me the hold I was looking for, and none of the colors really suited my skin tone. A lot of the colors do pull on the warmer side. Packaging and component is such a big deal to me. So if I don't like the package it comes in, I don't like the applicator it has, already my opinion is like about it. I get that I'm just like really picky with that. So that's really like a me thing. And the Sephora Collection brow gel that looks like it's supposed to be a dupe for Patrick Ta is like putting water in your brows. Did absolutely nothing. Now, if you really want, I messed with it. I was able to open the tube and leave it overnight, and it dreaded it a little bit. So it gave a little bit of hold, but I don't believe in having to mess with your products like that in order to make them work. That concludes my 2023 shits. Again, these were all just my personal experiences and personal opinions based on my preferences, my skin type, things like that. Have you had similar experiences with these products? Do you have different ones? Have you tried them? Let me know what you think. I am newer on YouTube, so I'm trying to get used to it. If you're just finding me on this platform, I used to be an Ulta, Dior, and Sephora manager. I have tons of education, experience, and first-hand knowledge on a lot of these products, so hit that follow button and stick around.